Who as a child did not want to be an astronaut? Who has not dreamed of traveling into space and seeing planet Earth from above? Perhaps getting there will be very difficult for mankind in general, but it's not impossible to know what astronauts have experienced in space. To really learn about this topic, today we will talk about the things astronauts have seen in space. Strange sightings you may never have thought you'd know about, and even less so from their own witnesses. Although they are legitimate, they are also creepy, and we hope you'll be surprised. What's the strangest thing an astronaut has ever seen? Without asking one directly, we can say that an alien would be the most obvious answer. However, the reality is different, and here we present it to you. You know the strangest and most inexplicable things only seen by those who have reached space. Number 10. Strange lights in space. These lights were seen by Leroy Chiao, an astronaut who commanded the International Space Station in 2005. What's interesting is that he wasn't the only one to have seen them. His crew confirmed the same thing. They were strange lights in space. The description Chiao gave was pyramid-shaped lights. The sighting occurred as the lights flew past them. Number 9. Something is in the spaceship. Scientists have shown that, in space, sound does not exist. If something on Earth falls down, we can hear it roar. But in space, this is impossible. So the story told by astronaut Yang Liwei is amazing. It happened on an expedition in 2003. This astronaut was one of the first to be sent into space by the Chinese program. While sitting in his shuttle, he reported hearing a thump. According to his description, it was as if someone was outside the ship hitting it. It sounded like it was an iron object. But it didn't all stop there. The great thing about this story is that this man was not the only one to experience the sound of a blow to the ship. So did other Chinese astronauts between 2005 and 2008. They reported sounds similar to those detected by Liwei in 2003. Number 8. Someone is watching us from space. This story was told by Neil Armstrong, the famous astronaut who first stepped and walked on the moon. Despite being accused of being a fake visit to the moon, the story this astronaut told is fascinating. It happened on the famous Apollo 11 mission in 1969. After the lunar landing by Armstrong, NASA confirmed that he lost contact with the crew. This for about 2 minutes. However, NASA has revealed that it received secret messages from the astronaut. These describe a strange situation where there were 2 huge babies, something incredible to interpret. It was apparently another spacecraft that landed on the opposite side of the crater. From there, it seemed that they were watching the Earth. Number 7. Something was shining on the moon. Alan Bean, a NASA astronaut, claimed to have seen something shining on the moon. Although there are not many explanations for this, it is still strange. More so on a surface where the absence of light predominates. Number 6. A snake in space. This strange situation has been reported by Dr. Story Musgrave. The story is one of the most interesting about sightings in space. This retired NASA doctor claimed to have seen a white snake. Its length was about 2.44 meters. But what's even stranger is that he saw it floating in space. Some have asked him if it really was a snake or space pollution. For example, a hose that had come loose and started floating because of the lack of gravity. However, Dr. Musgrave is very confident about what he saw. Number 5. Dead animals floating? This story surprises you just by listening to the statement. However, it doesn't sound so scary when space history has shown us that the first beings sent into space were a dog and an ape. However, these expeditions were a failure. The possible result is that these animal carcasses are floating in space. Number 4. UFO fleet. It was not 1, not 2, not 3, but several UFOs in one place. This has been explained by astronaut Gordon Cooper, who saw a fleet of UFOs while flying. The space professional had made expeditions on the Mercury 9 and the Gemini 5. His claims claim that he saw several UFOs together when he flew with the United States Air Force. Without knowing it, this situation was repeated again, 10 years later, but this time in space. He also explains that in the year 1963, one of these ships headed straight for him. As if that were not enough, the object was also picked up by radar. Number 3. Another UFO sighting. Can you believe it? UFOs in space. It's not that hard to believe, but the more astronauts who claim to have seen them, the easier it is to trust that there is life on other planets. This time, it was from astronaut Scott Kelly. His story begins with mandatory preparation processes for spending a lot of time in space, specifically on the International Space Station. However, his stories are not practice, they are quite real. Scott Kelly has said, among jokes, that he has had a great rapprochement with aliens. Not in direct words, but his comments have left many with suspicions. One of them has been the revealing comment that aliens have it easier in space than we do on Earth. You don't know what he means, but his words are no longer taken as a joke. Number 2. A sound from space. It sounds like music. Strange things also happened on the Apollo 10 mission. One of them was seen in the test run to the first lunar mission carried out. There, the astronauts were carrying several pieces of equipment to test them. Everything would be done in a 100% real environment, so there was no time for mistakes. However, this did not prevent the team of astronauts from hearing a strange whistle perceived through the headphones. At the end of the report, they describe what they heard as space music. Number 1. A cylindrical UFO. UFOs are oval in shape, or at least that's what we think. But a cylindrical shape? This is what Musa Manarov, an astronaut, saw in 1991. This object, which not only glowed but spun, was irregular in shape. At least that is what this astronaut describes who saw it going through space. Around space, there are many theories, from realistic theories to theories that talk about sea monsters and dinosaurs on other planets. Do you want to know more about these subjects? Here are the videos.